Okay, hello and welcome to the Spirit of VMI Election 2021 video interview series. Today's May 26th, I think 26th, Wednesday evening, and we have Republican Attorney General candidate from Virginia, Jason Miyares. Jason, is that how you pronounce it, Miyares?
That is correct. Good job. Yes, sir.
All right. Talking with us this evening and answering some interview questions specifically about topics that people who support or are interested in our political action committee called the Spirit of VMI PAC that we care about. We're offering this service to our supporters and also to the candidates who are nice enough to talk with us. So we have an opportunity to expose the way they feel about VMI issues. Our PAC is specifically an issues PAC, not necessarily a political party PAC. So this should help voters become informed, and it should help the candidates get the word out as they would like. These interviews shouldn't signal an endorsement for any candidate. Those endorsements will come, and they'll come later after both parties have an opportunity to talk with us. So, Jason. Can I call you Jason, or should I call you?
Yeah, Jason's fine. That's fine. Yeah.
Okay. I'm Matt Daniel, and Hugh Bryan is running our camera for us and videoing and processing this. I'm the chairman of the Spirit of VMI PAC, and as you may or may not know about us, we were founded about the 1st of March and incorporated, and we're there to support VMI and promote VMI. And promote the idea that VMI is and has been good, as is sort of opposed from what you may read in the media these days and or hear from some people who may actually come out of somewhere close to the school itself. We are helping to ensure strong, unique VMI. And as my good friend Carmen Villani, class of 1976, would say, a VMI experience for generations to come. So, Jason, you got our questionnaire, is that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you had a chance to take a look at it.
I have.
Okay, good. So, question number one would be: have you been to Lexington? Have you been to VMI? And have you had a chance to take a look at the post and meet some people?
I have. It's been a while. It's actually a pretty vivid memory. In the summer of 2005, when I was getting done in William & Mary, I was on my way to Roanoke to take the bar. My best friend from law school was actually from California, but obsessed with Virginia history and came to William & Mary partly because he wanted to be closer to everything that Virginia brings. And he had never been to Lexington. And so I have vivid memories of taking him to Lexington on the way to Roanoke, to both walk around campus, visit General Jackson's grave, and then also walking over to Lee Chapel, did a quick prayer for good luck. So luckily he and I both passed, but Lexington is a special place and the Institute is a special campus.
Thank you. And do you know any VMI candidates? Graduates?
Yeah, obviously John Adams is one of my campaign co-chairs. He's a proud VMI graduate. Jim Mueller down here at Virginia Beach. I know as well Ben Markey, who attended. So I absolutely know some graduates and have obviously come across and served with Tommy Norman, who is our Republican leader in the state Senate. He's also obviously a proud Institute graduate as well.
Have you been affected one way or the other, or have you built sort of an opinion about people who come from VMI one way or the other?
I mean, I think Virginia, the VMI the Institute produces some of the very best of what Virginia has to offer. Duty, honor, country. And I think they have produced, both leaders in so many different fields that my impression of all of them is these are people that have conduct themselves with a high ethical standards. They have both an incredible work ethic. They have one of the best alumni network of any college or university in the country. They're incredibly loyal, but they bring out the best parts of Virginia past for Virginia's future. And every Institute graduate that I have come across, I've been incredibly impressed with, and not just because of their very impressive class rings, but how they've conducted themselves and left a fantastic impression on me over the years.
Fantastic. Okay, Jason, as we were talking about before, by impressions of VMI graduates. Thank you for that comment. I appreciate that. Next, getting to the job of Attorney General. If you are elected as the Attorney General, would you agree to provide defense to VMI for any civil suits brought against the school?
Absolutely. I think if there's anything that frustrates me with this current Attorney General, if I could be so bold, is he's kind of turned it into a partisan office. In fact, he brags about making it a progressive powerhouse. It's something he tweeted out just a week or so ago. And I think that's the opposite. I think your job as Attorney General is to call balls and strikes. And you're the lawyer for the Commonwealth of Virginia. That means you're also a lawyer for all of our colleges and universities. So absolutely, the Institute will be able to count on me to represent them in any civil suit and do so vigorously.
Thank you. Do you believe that the single sanction honor system is laudable and worthy of being maintained?
Absolutely, no question. It should be maintained. It's the very core of what makes VMI, in my opinion.
And to the extent that you're able, would you agree to actively oppose or fight any attempts by legislators to alter VMI's single sanction honor system?
Absolutely. I mean, the fact that this is even up for debate, I think, says more about our greater society right now than it says about VMI.
Thank you. So you're familiar with the way that VMI adjudicates honor offenses, and you understand, I'm sure, that they're civil suits. But before we get to the not civil suits, I'm sorry, but they're administrative procedures. Would you do anything to change VMI's administrative procedures and the way that they're adjudicated at VMI?
No. I mean, listen, at the end of the day, if you're to go to VMI, this is a free country. And so you know that you're going to be held to an incredibly high standard. My understanding is VMI is one of the few single sanctioned colleges and universities in the country, maybe the only one. But at the end of the day, you go to VMI for that experience. And people that can't handle it, they shouldn't enroll. It's a free country. And that's exactly that incredible sense of both duty and honor is what, like I said, is what makes VMI. And to change that would change the very core essence of what VMI is. So I would oppose any effort of that.
Right. I don't mean to beat a dead horse too much about this, but it's a key issue for graduates, for alumni at VMI. The honor system is probably the most treasured artifact that we have from VMI, and one that we jealously protect as much as we can. So I appreciate your patience in me asking, what seemed like maybe repetitive questions. Yeah. So there's a ceremony that has been changed, maybe changed for the worse or watered down. Some people may say. That we call the drum out. So the drum out is basically when the announcement is made that a VMI cadet has been relieved of their academic duties, their cadetship, because of an honor violation. Do you have any problem with or do you have any opinion about the drum out ceremony and whether or not that should stay or go?
I think it should stay. I mean, obviously that would be a decision left up to VMI. It should be left to outside bureaucrats or politicians to force that. But in my opinion, the honor system, the rat line, the drum out, they've worked for VMI for 180 years. I see no reason to change it. And like I said, it's the core of what VMI is. Okay.
Now, away from the honor system. Now, I again don't mean to beat a dead horse there. But we just want to be very clear on where people stand on the honor system and the honor code and the way things are adjudicated at VMI. The next one of the other things that we really feel strongly about is the rat line experience. Kind of a funny name, but think of it as a sort of crucible that all VMI cadets, regardless of when they enter, whether they enter as an actual sophomore or even later, but or as a freshman, they all have to go through the rat line, the crucible that lasts generally somewhere between a semester and a half, depending on how well the class does as a class. So to the extent you're able, would you agree to actively oppose or fight any attempts by legislators to alter VMI's rat line and its protocol?
Absolutely, I would oppose it. And like I said, it shouldn't be left up to politicians. And it's worked for VMI for 180 years, and they should keep those traditions that make VMI what it is, and it's producing the caliber of graduates that it produces. So absolutely, I would oppose.
Okay, thank you for that. So on to kind of current events that are going on at VMI, maybe what would cause them. There have been actions that have been taken by the current administration in Richmond, to include the Attorney General, that have put VMI in a situation right now where we're playing defense. So the question is, was it appropriate and ethical for a sitting Attorney General to sign a letter, in this case, a 19 October letter, that basically relieved the sitting superintendent at VMI, stating the conclusion that VMI was systemically racist and harbored other civil rights violations before an investigation was even started?
You know, this is a little bit of the, unfortunately, in today's kind of world, we're practicing too many, kind of an Alice in Wonderland system of justice, which is first comes the punishment, then comes the trial. Remember the Queen of the Hearts. And that's essentially what's been happening right now, I think, with VMI. There seems to be an idea that the people have reached a conclusion without doing a proper investigation. I was a prosecutor in Virginia Beach, and I could tell you that is the opposite way you should do any type of investigation, obviously. So no, it wasn't appropriate for this Attorney General to do that, but it doesn't surprise me, as he's politicized pretty much everything that his office has touched, unfortunately, including this investigation.
So you pretty much led into the next question, which is kind of a repeat of the previous one, but do you have any thoughts about how serious allegations should be pursued by the AG's office? In our situation, basically, it came cart, then horse, or allegations, charges, and then followed by an investigation. Do you have any more you want to say about that?
Well, I mean, listen, I voted against the investigation because my attitude was this entire Board of Visitors was appointed by McAuliffe and Northam. So what a waste of taxpayer money at a time when we're facing a COVID-19 pandemic. Number one, so it's a waste of taxpayer resources. Number two, what you're essentially saying is that the Board of Visitors is incapable of doing their job. And number three, I know my time as a prosecutor, the one thing that gets drilled into is you do not talk about an active open investigation. So even if this had occurred, there's no way in heck that I would be trying to litigate this in the press. And if it was a criminal case, they'd be sanctioned by a judge. So what this Attorney General has done is, for pure partisan political points, he's decided to politicize this investigation. And the fact that Tom Slater, who's one of the governor's oldest and closest friends, has resigned, I think says so much about this investigation, the way it's been conducted. And so, the fact that they're instructing VMI cadets to violate and to ignore their honor code in order to cooperate, I think says a lot more about the investigators and the institution they are investigating.
Thank you for that response. So the last question that I have for you, and it's kind of serious. There have been leaks, obviously, the media, the newspaper up in the National Capital Region, mostly, but other newspapers and other media outlets have received information before VMI or the board, Smith Hall being the administration, or the alumni have gotten information. So the media has been leaked to regarding the Barnes and Thornburg investigation and other things as well that we've come to recently hear about via social media and are awaiting for the next story to land. That there have been these leaks that have exposed personal protected information, personally identifiable information that could be illegal. Do you have anything that you want to say about what we should be doing to investigate, or should we investigate or pursue more information on how these leaks sprung?
Listen, I think you're going to have to get the Inspector General involved. Because this is the opposite. First of all, as I previously noted, you're spending a large amount of taxpayer dollars on investigation, essentially saying the Board of Visitors is incapable of governing. It's essentially what they're saying. McAuliffe-Northam administration essentially saying the very people that we appointed are incapable of doing their jobs. period in the story. So we're going to have the taxpayers on do a supplemental investigation. In the process, we're going to pressure the cadets to basically violate their very own honor code just to cooperate. And then on top of that, they're leaking confidential information to the media. This is a farce, in my opinion, of what they're coming out with. It's the opposite of what a good, thorough investigation should look at. I'm offended as a Virginian. I'm offended as a legislator. I'm offended as a former prosecutor as the way this case has been conducted. And I think it's a tragedy for the Institute. And I think we all kind of know probably the likelihood that this is not going to be a very fair report that gets issued at the end of the day. And so we spent this amount of taxpayer dollars on what essentially is going to be a report that they had already reached the conclusion and then just filled in the facts to reach what they wanted to find.
Right. Well, thank you for that answer. I kind of bumbled the question at the beginning, but basically your answer that you would engage the IG in an investigation for leaks, I think, is the answer you came up with. Thank you for your patience in me butchering the question. Well, I think that's all of the questions that we have for you, Jason. And I want to wish you luck. We'll be following this race closely. We'll be making an endorsement for all 3 executive positions and other positions as well within the General Assembly, and look forward to being able to do that. We'll obviously give the other side of the aisle the opportunity to answer these same questions as well. So thank you very much for this. Do you have any other follow-away jumpers, or are we good to go?
No, I just appreciate the Institute allowing me a few words to speak, and look forward to seeing you guys on the trail ahead.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.